Hey guys, Bondo here, part 2 of the Stampcrete video. Here we are on Saturday. We poured the first half on Friday. If you haven't seen the first video, guys, go back and check it out. I'll leave a link to it in the description of this video. But go back and check it out. We poured the first half, and here we are about to pour the second half. We're just covering things up. Truck's there. I got the track buggy right under it. We're just getting things ready here. And that's my son Jason on the track buggy. He's coming through. That's me and my friend Danny puddling out the concrete. And that's Evan and Brent helping out there. Evan's in the green shirt, Brent's in the blue shorts. And we're just dumping this concrete out, guys, and that's me magging the edge. We always mag down our edges. Brent's got a hook in his hand. He's pulling up the wire up into the concrete, which is good to get that wire up in the concrete. And we're just going to dump this thing out, mag all our edges, and I'm going to hit this thing with a power screed, as I did in the first video. We like the power screed. I like it for a lot of reasons. I can go pretty fast on it, and it was really hot these 2 days that we poured this. I think it was 10 o'clock when we poured this side here, and the night before at 2 o'clock we poured the first half of it. So we were right in the sun the whole time. We put some plastic up over the house there. That track buggy likes to splatter a lot. It's so tall, when you dump it, it'll splatter. So if you notice here, guys, we put plastic underneath the concrete too, which actually keeps the moisture in the concrete and actually helps strengthen the concrete because the subgrade doesn't suck the water out of it. Sometimes we'll wet the aggregate down, but when it's out in the direct sun like this, I like to put that poly underneath there. This concrete is 4,000 pound with air inside of it, which is a chemical that puts bubbles in the concrete, so that we live in a heavy freeze area. Central New York, we get a lot of snow, and frost drives pretty deep. So this air additive, it's called air, it leaves those bubbles in there, and it gives the water a place to go. And when the water freezes, it doesn't pop the surface of the concrete and expose the stones, leave those little pock holes. So that's why we use that. 4,000 pound, like I said, that's a good mix of concrete, guys, for this area. We put like a chocolate brown color in this. I put pretty near 50 pounds of color in the slab between the two pieces. So I did notice that in the hot weather, the color doesn't work quite as good as it does in the cool weather. We poured a piece of concrete with the same color, this chocolate brown color, and it was a little browner than it was with this slab, because this slab being right in the direct sun, and I guess probably a little different water content, will actually change your color a little bit with this integral color. But that's a lesson learned there. My son's there, Jason. He's got the bow float. I've been training him. He's coming along good. Danny's hitting edges. Me and Danny hitting edges here, just knocking down the edges. We like to do that, and we pulled the track buggy out of there at this point, and we're going to use the truck just to pour down that sidewalk area. We had a sidewalk right here, and we're heading down through there. Same thing. I'm going to just grab a 2x6, a short 2x6 right there, that we're going to pull it off with the 2x6. So I like to mag down the edge there and then pull like a short 2x4 or 2x6 down through there. If you got a small, magnesium straight edge, you can use that. They work good. I just didn't have one that day. That's pretty much how we do it, guys. Getting it in here. If you stay with us a little bit, I'll kind of give you some tips and tricks on how to stamp these things. How we do it, we use a powder release agent. There's different ways to do it. You can use a liquid release, which I haven't tried that yet. So, maybe in the future I'll try that. But I'm still onto the powder release. It's a mess, but I think it does a nice job for me. Do me a favor, guys, if you're getting some value out of this video right now, hit the like button, because that'll help me out with my YouTube station here. I'll be able to reach more people. I'll get ranked higher by YouTube, and they'll start suggesting my videos. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. Then you'll know when I upload videos. I got over 100 videos doing this kind of stuff, and if you like it, go ahead and hit that button too, guys. Alright, we got it in. Just hitting the edges and stuff. Washing things up. We got a boat float this yet, down through the sidewalk area. Brent's cleaning stuff up. That's where we're at right now. Looking good. Not quite as hot out today as it was yesterday, but that sun's peeking up, so I don't think we're going to be here a long time today. Only took us about a half hour to get it in. So guys, this is a new tool that I just got. They call it a funny float. It's kind of like a hand mag, but longer, and it's on a handle. You can hook your bow float handles up to it. I got a little adapter. I really like this thing because you don't have to get on these pads with a knee board, and you don't have to use your Fresno, which tends to close up the surface of them if you're not careful. So this is just like magging off. If you were to jump on there with knee boards, it'd do the same thing. Basically taking out those bow float lines and stuff, because we already bow floated this, so this funny float will take all those bow float lines right out. And it works up some good cream for stamping. Gives you a nice cream surface. And I didn't mention earlier when I was talking about that power screed, the reason I like that power screed. One of the reasons I like it so much is that the vibration from it tends to knock the stones down below the surface. When you're screeding these off, if you were to hand screed this, it wouldn't knock the stones down as good as that vibratory screed. That thing just knocks them stones right down in there. So I really like that thing. I can move along pretty fast with it too, so I like that as well. But I like this funny float a lot, so I'm going to use that again. So here we are, guys, stamping the edges. Danny's just hitting powder along the edge here, and we got a little floppy stamp that we're using, and just kind of put it on the edge and tamp it down with your hand. You don't, at this point the concrete's still pretty soft, so you don't really need to smack it down with that hand tamper that I got. It actually will start to harden up in this hot sun, so you just gotta keep an eye on it, and you want to get on there before you're not leaving any footprints in it. You want to be able to walk on your texture mats but not leave footprints. So I actually had just got a pair of these stamping shoes that are actually pretty nice. It's a bigger set of bigger shoes that you put. They look like big flip-flops. You put them on over your shoes, and they don't move. I thought they would move around, but they don't. They lock right onto your feet, and you can walk your stamps in at first if the concrete's real soft and you're not going to leave footprints. But after that, once it starts to harden up, you're going to have to smack down on it pretty good. If it was shady out, we'd have a lot more time to work on this thing, and you wouldn't have to be worried about the texture so much, because when the concrete's soft, that texture will go in there pretty easy, but as it hardens up, you really got to work at it. So as we're going here, guys, we basically work our way down the slab and walk on these texture mats. And we use that little texture mat to go up against, up against the house and stuff. That little floppy one that we're using on the edges. We'll use that along the house. Just run that down through there. Make sure you got powder everywhere before you set that stamp down. That powder that we throw down on there is actually a release agent that lets the stamp not stick to the concrete, and it also gives you a secondary color into the concrete. So as I said earlier, this concrete has a brown color in it, so that's your base color that we actually dump right into the concrete truck, and the concrete driver will mix it all in, and then we take this powder, and that gets stamped down into the concrete while it's still soft and wet. And when you wash the concrete at the end, that'll leave a secondary color into the concrete, like a marbling effect. Actually goes down into your stone. The grooves, the stone texture that's in the mats will actually stay in there, and you wash it off your other surfaces. That's what gives it that Stampcrete, that nice look that everybody's looking for. So that's how we do it. Like I said, we're working our way down here, and I'm stamping, and I got guys just handing me stamps, and we keep going back and forth. Evan will take that little stamp and walk those edges in, while me and Danny are working down the main spot there, and we just turn when we get to the end, turn around and come back with the stamps. Basically just working down, turning, and coming back. And as you're using these stamps, you want to rotate them so that your stone patterns don't look the same. Now the stone pattern is not exactly the same on each stamp, but if you pick one up, you want to just spin it so that it doesn't show up. It'll look a lot nicer. You can tell because there's writing on the stamp, so just follow your writing and then spin your writing, and it won't give you that same pattern every time you set it down. Just spin it one rotation. That makes it pretty easy. Another tip, guys, is when you set the stamps down onto the powder, you don't want to throw them down. Like, you want to set them down gently, because it'll actually puff the powder out from under your stamp. If you set it down really, really fast, it'll kind of blow the powder out from under your stamp, and it'll leave a bad spot, where you won't get as much color into your texture on the edges. And that becomes challenging when it's hot out, because you throw the powder down onto the concrete, and if the concrete's dry and the powder doesn't stick good, that's where it ends up blowing out from under your stamp when you set it down too fast. So if you do set your stamp down, you notice that your powder blew out from under it, you can just lift your stamp up and throw some more powder down under there. But keep that in mind when you're pouring, or when you're stamping concrete in the warm weather. And your concrete is dry to the surface, that your powder is not going to stick as well. And another thing, if it's windy out, your powder could blow around. And as you're stamping it, around the edges, you got to be careful, because it'll actually puff the powder right out from under it. That's why it's definitely easier to stamp in cool weather, but I mean, you got to do concrete when you can do it. So you got to work with the weather that you get. I mean, between the rains that we get and everything else, if you didn't do it in the warmer weather, you probably wouldn't get much done. Another thing to mention is when you're stamping this concrete, you got to lift up one pad and set the other one on top of it. If you watch us doing it, that's how we do it, because you got to be able to pick the other stamp up. Like Danny's setting a stamp down right now. It's on top of the one I'm standing on. So I'm going to stamp it right here. See how I stamp it? Now it's over the other pad. So before we pick it up, I'm going to lift it like that and set it like that, and then restamp it. So what that does is allows Danny to pick that next stamp up, and it also gets rid of the, where it won't show the edge as much. If you're not careful, you'll see the edge of the stamp where you set the mats down. You got to be careful of that too. So that's pretty much how we do Stampcrete, guys. It's not super easy, but it's not that hard either, especially if it's cool out. I mean, if you're good at concrete, or you got the right crew, you can do it. You just gotta take your time. Watch as many videos as you can. Start small. Don't try to do a big piece of concrete. I mean, we've done a lot of this, and I still broke this pad in half just because of the weather. I didn't really want to kill myself and my guys trying to pour this all in one day and have a chance of not getting good texture because it hardened up, or the concrete got away from us or whatever. But we probably could have done it, but I just really didn't feel comfortable doing it. So I'd much rather do it like that, and you end up with a better job in the end. So like I said, start small. If you've never done this before, I'd encourage you to try these textured mats, the ones without a pattern to them. It's just kind of looks like a piece of random stone, because they're a lot easier. You don't have to line anything up. If you get like an ashlar slate or something, you're going to have to line them up, and they can run crooked on you. So that's just another challenge. I would start with these textured skins, and do a sidewalk or something with them, and then get a little bit bigger, maybe do a small patio or whatever. It's definitely doable. If you're a concrete guy and you want to get into stamping, just watch a bunch of videos. if you can jump in and help somebody, that's actually what I did to learn how to do Stampcrete. I actually helped a buddy who'd done a bunch of Stampcrete. He took some courses and stuff, and I just helped him do a bunch of Stampcrete. So that's how I learned how to do it. I didn't take any courses or nothing. I just did it. But if you got somebody that that is willing to show you, and you can work for them and learn how to do this, it's definitely a good thing to have in your arsenal. You can do a nice job on it, and people love this stuff. It's getting more and more popular, this Stampcrete. So I'd encourage you to add it to your bag of tricks if you can. So stick around to the end, guys. That's pretty much it for how to stamp it, but we'll show you at the end here how to wash it off. And I don't really include how to seal it. We just rolled the sealer on this one. My son went over. I was not there that day, and he sealed it, so I didn't get any video footage of it. We got video footage of us washing it off, washing this powder off, and then at the end of the video you'll see the finished product. So hang tight. Also, if you got any questions, go ahead and hit me up on here. I'll be willing to answer anything I can for you. Got any comments, again, like I said earlier, go ahead and throw me a comment. YouTube loves that. Good or bad, I don't care. Either one, you like it, you don't like it. Things I can do differently, things you do differently. Let me know. Thanks again, guys. Touching up. That's not where you want to be. You want to be just how I showed you on the other one.
No, it's straight.
Oh, okay. Alright. Never mind then. I thought you were trying to stamp, because that's not where we need to be.
Yeah, the line there.
Yeah, the line there. Yep.
Powder on there?
There's enough powder. We
No, I mean on the stamp.
Oh.
Funny.
I don't have a lot of powder left.
Yeah, we got enough.
No, we got enough. But
Enough to do that. We have to sweep some off. We'll have to sweep some off.
that's right. Sweep it off the other side.
Yep.
We could pick up all these stakes, Jay. All the stakes can go too. We just saw cut everything. Got all our saw cuts in. Now Jay's just washing it. Getting the powder release off.
Actually, I got an idea. Run that hose.
Kind of what it's going to look like.
Run the hose right along the saw cut.
Run the hose right along the saw cut?
Yeah, because it'll stop the water from running down, and I can push this whole side.
Oh, alright. There you go. And we're going to put that topsoil right there around the pad. And we got to hook up a wire for the hot tub. This is the good part, when you get to see what it looks like cleaning all this ugly powder off of it. Alright, we're just finishing up for the day. Got it all washed. Doesn't look that good without the sealer on it yet, but it's gonna look more like this side that's wet. So we washed it and then we pressure washed it, and now we're washing it again. The powder's still coming off of it. But we didn't put any soap on this one. Trying to do it a little different. Trying different things.
Trying to be more eco-friendly.
Yeah, more eco-friendly.
Like the sea turtles.
Save the sea turtles. Save the sea turtles! I put topsoil around the whole thing, make it nice. The little things, it's the little extra things like that. customer likes. I'll get a video of it when it's sealed. Alright guys, got her done. Got the hot tub back on there. That's how it's gonna be.